Alright, cubics and other polynomials. Here's your test review. Synthetic division to start. Remember, we put the opposite of whatever this is in the box. We write down the coefficients, 1, -7, -7, 20. Bring the first number down. 1 times -4 is -4. We add these to get -11. I multiply again. I should get a positive 44, which gives me a 37. And 37 times -4 is -148, which gives me a -128. So that means my answer is, this is all we have to do. This is our coefficients, x squared minus 11x plus 37. Then this last one, minus 128, goes over what we divided by, over x plus 4. Do another one. 1 will be in my box this time. I'm going to have 1, 3, -1, and -3. In this case, I'll have 1. 1 times 1 is 1. Bring it down, gives me 4. 4 times 1 is 4, gives me 3. 3 times 1 is 3, leaves me 0. So no remainder on this one. My answer is x squared plus 4x plus 3. The long division ones, which are much more complicated, or at least I feel they are. A lot of you like it better, though, and I can't fault you for that. Put x minus 2 on the outside, the x cubed minus 4x squared plus 6x minus 4 on the inside. X times what gives you x cubed? That would be an x squared. Bring it down. Multiplying is x cubed minus 2x squared. When I subtract here, I'm going to get a negative 2x squared. Bring down the plus 6x and start again. So x squared, I'm going to now need to do, I don't want plus, I'm sorry, I want minus because I need negative 2x squared. So I'll need a minus 2x. That'll give me my negative 2x squared. Then I'll have a plus 4x. Subtract those guys. I'll have a 2x minus 4 left. So I need to multiply that by 2. 2 times x gives me my 2x minus 4. No remainder. So my answer is what's written right there at the top. X squared minus 2x plus 2. For the next one, same idea. X plus 3 on the outside. On the inside, 3x cubed plus 17x squared plus 21 minus 10. Okay, what to get to 3x cubed? That would be a 3x squared. So that becomes 3x cubed. Let's get this a little smaller. 3x cubed. I would then have a plus 9x squared. That'll leave me when I subtract here. 8x squared, bring down the plus 21. What to get to 8? That means I'm going to need to multiply by 8x. Because 8x times x gives me my 8x squared. I'll have a plus 24, should be 24x there as well. Subtract, it'll leave me with a negative 3x. That means my last step here will be multiplying by negative 3. Negative 3 times x, I didn't bring down my negative 10, of course. Negative 3 times x is negative 3x. Negative 3 times 3 is a negative 9. I subtract those, I'm going to be left with a negative 1. That means I have a final answer of exactly what's written, 3x squared plus 8x minus 3, then my remainder of negative 1 goes over the x plus 3 from the beginning. All right, these last ones, your choice. The main thing I want to point out, no matter which way you do it, is you're missing terms in this one. So if I do synthetic, for example, negative 3 here means I would have 1x cubed, no x squared, no x, and 27 units. Bring down the 1, that gives me negative 3. Still leaves me with negative 3. Positive 9 leaves me with 9. 9 times 3 is negative 27. Leaves me with 0. So x squared minus 3x plus 9 for that one. Now for this one over here, just was a little bit longer, but no difference. Something synthetic again. 1, negative 5, positive 5, 7, and negative 12. Bring down the 1. 1 times 4 is 4. Gives me negative 1. I now have negative 4 gives me positive 1. 1 times 4 is 4, gives me 11. 11 times 4 gives me 44. So that leaves me with a positive 32. So my answer there for this one would have been x cubed. Remember, my top was to the 4th, so this has to be x cubed minus x squared plus x plus 11x, or not plus 11x, plus 11, and then plus 32 over the x minus 4, which was your remainder and your dividend. All right, so there's your divisions. Now, how to use them? We need to factor each polynomial here completely. Remember, to see possible factors, we need to take this last number, what its factors could be, which are 1, 3, 5, and 15. It'll be divided by whatever number's in front. In this case, 1, those possible factors, which are 1. So any one of these numbers, positive or negative, would work. We can try different ones. Let's see, the first one I'm going to try will be f of 1. And if I plug that in, I get 1 plus 3 minus 13 minus 15. That doesn't equal 0, so that's no good for us. Another guess, let's say f of negative 1. So it gives me negative 1 plus 3 plus 13 minus 15. Hey, that one does work. So that means I'm going to plug in negative 1 with my division. If you did long division, you would be doing divided by x plus 1, because that's really my first factor, is x plus 1. So my polynomial is 1, 3, negative 13, negative 15. You do that division, bring down the 1. Negative 1 gives you 2. Negative 2 gives you negative 15. 15 gives you 0. That leaves here, you had the x plus 1, the first factor we got from the guess. And then we have x squared plus 2x minus 15. See if we can factor this, which we can. So x plus 1 for the first, and this will become x plus 5 and x minus 3. So that means my zeros are negative 1, negative 5, and positive 3. Do the same idea over here. Lots of numbers to choose from. Anything that multiplies to 24, you can guess whatever you want that will end up working eventually. You'll find out that 1, negative 1, neither of those work. So I'm going to go just to show you straight to f of 2, which will be 8 minus 12 minus 20 plus 24. That is 0, so that's one that works. So the first factor will be x minus 2. 2, 1, negative 3, negative 10, and 24. For my polynomial, I'll get this as my result. Negative 12, negative 24, and 0. So my first factor was x minus 2, and then I just got x squared minus x minus 12 when I did the division. So x minus 2, this will give me an x minus 4 and an x plus 3. So that means my factors are, or my zeros I should say, are 2, 4, and negative 3. Okay, more of the same stuff going on here. Number 9. My factors, I'm only going to have options of 1, 2, and 4. So that's kind of nice to know that we don't have many options to work with here. If we try f of 1, I get 1 minus 1 plus 4 minus 4. Well, that was a pretty quick and easy one. That one works. My first factor will be x minus 1. If I plug in 1 to 1, negative 1, 4, negative 4, this is how it divides out. 1 times 1 is 1. That gives me 0. Bring down 4 here, and then I'm left with a 4 to give me 0, just like I need. So I have x minus 1. Now I have x squared plus 0x plus 4 for this one. Now, here's the issue that we have here. Can I factor this guy anymore? No, absolutely I cannot. X squared plus 4 cannot be factored. So the only 0 I have for this one is just x equals 1. We could do imaginary, but that doesn't help us at all. We stick with the reals in this class. All right, over here, factors we can use are 1 and 3 up top, 1 and 2 on the bottom. So my options are 1, 3, 1/2, and 3/2. Those are the only possible rational answers we can get. Positive or negative, obviously. So let's see. Okay, let's try f of 1 again. If I plug in that, I get 2 plus 3 minus 2 minus 3. That was a quick and easy fix again. F of 1 being our answer. So that means my next step is to do the division. I have 2, 3, negative 2, negative 3. Bring down the 2, gives me 2, 5, 5. So that gives me positive 3, and 0. So just like we expected, it worked. My first factor was x minus 1. And I just got 2x squared plus 5x plus 3. That's what I need to factor. I'm going to use my table to remind you how to do that. You have 2x squared here, 3 down here. We need to get the 5x factor to 6. That'll be a 2x and a 3x. So that means I'm going to have 2x factored out here, 3 here, an x, and a 1. So that means there are my factors, x minus 1, x plus 1 from down here, and 2x plus 3 for on that side. So those are my factors, which means my answer, my zeros, my roots would be positive 1, negative 1, and a negative 3/2. All right, 2 more to go of these guys. For number 11. For number 11, you will find out the one that will work here will be negative 1. You get negative 1 plus 2 plus 5 minus 6. That gives you your 0 that you need. So my first factor again will be x plus 1. Do my long division or my synthetic division with these numbers. You're going to have 1, it gives me negative 1, 2, negative 2. No, it would help if I did this. 2 minus 1 is not equal to 2, it equals 1. That means this is negative 1, gives you negative 6 like I need. That should give me a positive 6, so it gives me the 0 like I need. So I'm left with x squared plus x minus 6. That can factor out. That'll give me an x minus 2 and an x plus 3. So my answers here are negative 1, positive 2, negative 3. All right, the last one. This is going to be the trickiest one on here because it requires a couple extra steps. First of all, let's guess. Let's try f of 1. That gives me 1 plus 2 minus 7 minus 8 plus 12. And again, as we get lucky, it is a 0 to start, so this is a good place to begin. So, divide it out. I have 1, 2, negative 7, negative 8, and 12. Bring down the 1, 3, gives me negative 4. Negative 4 gives me negative 12. Negative 12 gives me 0. So my first factor was x minus 1. Now I have x cubed plus 3x squared minus 4x minus 12. Remember, this first term is always 1 less than the power that we had, than the degree from the original. Now, here's a question. Can I factor that? Well, I don't know how to factor that. That means I'm right back to square 1. This looks like what I have for number 11. So I need to start guessing again. Now, f of 1 could still work again. Let's try it with this guy. 1 plus 3 minus 4 minus 12. Well, now that doesn't equal 0, so that's no good. Let's try f of negative 1. Negative 1 plus 3 plus 12 minus 12. Nope, that also doesn't work. Let's try a positive 2 then next would be on my list. 2 would be 1 divisible by 12 here, so that's good. So I would have 8 plus 12. This becomes a minus 8 and then minus 12. Well, that's pretty easy to see. That goes to 0, so we have a good winner here. So here's the deal. I still have the x minus 1 from my original. I just found x minus 2 also works. And now what's left in my division? So let's do the synthetic division. 2's in the box. Here's what I need outside. 1, 3, negative 4, negative 12. I'll bring down the 1, gives me 2, gives me 5. 5 times 2 is 10, so that gives me a positive 6. Gives me 12 and 0. So that means that what I'm left with is x squared plus 5x plus 6. So I can factor that. It'll be x plus 2, x plus 3. That'll go along with the two factors I already had. So that means my zeros are 1, 2, negative 2, and negative 3. And there you have everything for finding factors. Now the last thing is the graphing, your favorite thing in the world. Just use transformations, and that's what we need to focus on. So actually, let's worry about the first step first. How does this transform? The inside tells you left to right, so minus 2 means I've shifted 2 to the right. Plus 3 on the outside means I've shifted up 3. So there's my new origin at 2, negative 3. Now, for each one, I'm going to go over 1, up 1 cubed, which is 1. From the origin over 2, up 2 cubed, which is 11. When I go left, it'll be down 1 and down 2 cubed, which is 8. So that'll put me at 6. Connect the dots and make your little curly Q looking thing. And there's your answer. For this one, all I did is I moved to the left 5 units. And now, whenever I used to go up, I'm only going up half of that. I went over 1, up 1 normally. But now I'm only going up half of that. Instead of left 1, down 1, it's only down a half. When I go up 2, I would normally go up 8. Only half of that, though, is 4. That's where I go. Same when I go down, I should go to negative 4, and that's it. So there is my graph. It should look a little bit fatter than the original one from 13. All right, in 15, I'm starting at this point. I should have marked my origin here at negative 5, 0. I'll mark this one as it is, which is at 0, negative 2. When I go to the right one, normally I would go up 1. But my negative in front tells me it's the opposite. Not up 1, but down 1. This one means I'd go up 1 when I go to the left. I go over 2, up 8 normally. That means I'm going down 8 this time. And then over 2, down 8 normally. So again, up 8 this time. So there's my cubic, if I can draw it properly. All right, the next step that we're looking at. In number 16, all we did for the origin is down 6. So that means this origin here is at 0, -6. Pretty easy to look at. And to draw it, same thing. We normally would go over 1, up 1. However, my 2 in front tells me otherwise. Instead of over 1, up 1, I'm going twice that high. Over 1, up 2. I used to go over 2, up 2 cubed, up 8, but I need to double that. So I'm going to go up 16. So that'll actually put me at right at the 10 mark up here. When I go this way, I can go over 1, I can go down 2. If I go to the next one, I'm going to be well off my paper. So something like this as your graph. It should be rising a lot quicker than the other one. All right, 17 is a standard. Just needs to shift left or right. It shifts left by 8. That's what this tells us. It shifts up 1. So here's my new origin. That point is at -8, comma 1. Over 1, up 1 cubed, and over 2, up 2 cubed. Left 1, down 1 cubed, left 2, down 2 cubed. And that should put me at -6. So there is your graph for 17. And the last one, started left 4 and up 5. So here's my origin at should be -4, comma +5. And here's the deal, same thing. Instead of going over 1, up 1, I'm now going over 1 and down 1. And then I go over 2 and not up 8 anymore, but down 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there's that point, and this one will be at up here somewhere at like 12 or 13. So something like that. So there's your graphs, and there's all you need to do for the cubics and for this test coming up.